good afternoon, everyone. So first of all, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak here. And I'm very glad to see that it was the right decision to come back this year, since this conference is more and more establishing or getting established as the conference for the developers of a global hydrogen economy. And I'm glad to talk with you about the contributions that we can offer as a provider of H2-based power generation solutions. So first of all, my name is Abdessamad Saidi. I'm the Senior Business Development Manager here at INNIO Jenbacher. And before we get to start to talk about the topic of the speaking slot, the net zero backup power for green ammonia hubs, let me first shortly introduce INNIO Jenbacher, who we are. So to introduce INNIO Jenbacher in a short sentence, we are a leading developer, provider, and manufacturer of gas engine-based decentralized power solutions, headquartered in the lovely Zillertal Valley in the heart of the Austrian Alps. And within the last 6 decades, we have built up a power generation capacity of approximately 37 gigawatts. This is the capacity of approximately 24 nuclear power plants, with the major difference that our power solutions deliver the electricity and heat on site exactly where it is needed. So this is an important aspect in today's energy system, but especially in future energy system. And within the last decades, in our special gas division, we were already handling large amounts of hydrogen within our fuel, besides our major business in natural gas. So we were handling hydrogen in gasification plants, in chemical plants as byproducts. And based on these decades of experience, we are the first one to provide a 100% hydrogen power solution on a megawatt scale. So this is our Type 4 engine, with a capacity of 1 megawatt. And besides that, we offer for our entire product line a so-called ready for H2 engines. This ready for H2 concept means that all our engines that we provide from 1 megawatt to 10 megawatts, we can offer that those can be operated with a hydrogen share of approximately 25%. And we guarantee that those engines can be re-equipped to 100% solutions as soon as this solution is required, or better to say, as soon as hydrogen is available. And this H2 ready concept, or this fuel flexibility, is today the major benefit to our customers who are in the quite difficult situations when they build up power generation capacities, that within the lifetime of their power units, we will face a fundamental transition of our energy systems and our energy supply. But today, the truth is that hydrogen is still not available, especially green hydrogen. And so with this fuel flexibility, with this H2 readiness concept, our customers, the utilities, can avoid stranded invests. So this is as a short introduction. And now I would like to talk about how we can contribute with those solutions to build up hydrogen export infrastructure to support those who build up those green ammonia hubs. So within the last year, we have been in many discussions with developers of green ammonia projects. In fact, the discussion started last year on this conference. And among the various challenges that those developers are still facing to build those hubs or to realize business cases, reliable business cases, one major challenge are the restrictive regulations in key destination regions. So if we take a look on the map here, we see that, for example, in the European Union, we have the Renewable Energy Directive and the restriction that renewable fuels, so-called RFNBOs, have to deliver 70% savings compared CO2 savings compared to fossil fuels, resulting in a threshold for hydrogen of approximately 3.4 kilograms CO2 per kilogram hydrogen. In Japan, similar numbers are in discussion, while here we have to be careful. In the European Union, we are talking about well-to-wheel emissions, while in Japan they are a bit more pragmatic and focusing on well-to-gate, and they are in general more pragmatic and simplifying regarding certification requirements and proof of origins. Then we have the highest restrictions in the UK, even 2.4 kilogram CO2 per kilogram hydrogen. And then we have other regions, like in North America within the Inflation Reduction Acts, in the USA, for example, where they have established emission thresholds which do not apply today for H2 import, but should be considered as future restrictions. The same for South Korea, where the government is just launching an H2 certification system, which will have a significant impact on incentives and funding and so on. So, but what do these numbers mean for project developers? If we take a look on the energy flow chart for the green ammonia value chain or supply chain, then we see at the beginning we have the renewable energies, and the largest amount is required for the hydrogen production via electrolyzers. And then you have a share of, let's say, approximately 15% for the Haber-Bosch process itself, the energy requirements. And then you have some energy demand for transportation, and then for the cracking process in the destination region. And if we just consider, so for the electrolyzers itself, we can assume that the H2 production can be operated according to the availability of renewable energies. That means that the renewable energies cover the energy demand for the hydrogen production. But it is difficult to say that for the green ammonia process. There is technical potential for flexibilities, but just based on our discussions with experienced project developers, most of those prefer their green ammonia production to be run constantly on base load. And that means there is a need for backup power. And if we just assume that 20% of the power supply has to be provided by backup power solutions, and we just assume the established diesel generators, which are right now the dominating solution because of the availability of fuel and the capacity and high efficiency. Then if we assume that as backup power for the Haber-Bosch process, then you see that we already get to the limits of the regulations without even considering other CO2 sources along the value chain, like the transportation, for example, today. And within this case, we just assume that we use the hydrogen for the energy demand for the cracker, which is not the case, will not be the case for the first projects. So it's a quite challenging situation. And that's why we decided, okay, to take a look how we can make use of the synergy that we already have, high hydrogen supply and storage capacities on site for the ammonia production, that we can provide an economic efficient backup power system. And we had many discussions with as I mentioned, with project developers who are right now most of them are on the stage of feasibility studies. And these discussions were mainly on a qualitative base. We know the strengths of battery electric system, the advantages, we know the disadvantages and so on, but we didn't have a database to really evaluate which backup system shows the highest economic potential. And that's why we started a case study and published it with a white paper. The white paper is available as a hard copy on our booth, but also online, where we just have performed a comparative evaluation of different backup solutions on 5, let's say, I call those semi-theoretical case studies. Those of you who are aware of the green ammonia sector and the project landscape will recognize those flagship projects in Namibia and Canada and so on. But we decided to have 5 case studies to cover the existing project landscape in terms of location, in terms of renewable capacities, in terms of electrolyzer capacities, and ammonia production capacities. And for these case studies, we have just generated renewable load curves based on meteorological data and performed on a dynamic simulation a comparative evaluation of 4 different backup systems: our H2 engines, a PEM fuel cell based backup system, also hydrogen, the redox flow battery, and the lithium ion. Let me just take a look. Okay, I still have 4 minutes left. That's quite good. So, but I don't think that we have time for an extensive discussion of the results. But what we have done is that we have just calculated let's say, the established economic KPI, so the capex, the total cost of ownership, and the most important, the LCOS. And since I have a few minutes left, let's just take a look on the results of the LCOS. You see here the levelized cost of storage. The dark greens are our engines. The light greens is the fuel cell-based systems. The dark gray is the redox flow battery, and the light gray are the lithium ions. These are our corporate colors. Please don't consider this one as a green technology and the other not. And excuse those battery operators. I ask you to excuse that. And just to understand, okay, as you see, in many cases, our H2 power solutions are quite competitive, and there are many insights of this study. One major insight is of course, and this is not surprising, that it highly depends on the type of renewable energies that is available on site. So if we have, for example, for the Canada and the Chile case, we assumed to rely only on offshore wind, and therefore we have these seasonal undersupplies. In these cases, our engine definitely beats every other technology. If you take a look on the South Africa case, where we have an increased share also, so we have 6 gigawatt of offshore wind, 2 gigawatt of PV power, we see that those are getting closer. And if we take a look on the Australia case, where we have a higher share of PV compared to onshore wind in this case, then we see that the battery electric system beats our engine. But this is just a global insight. It doesn't apply for every case. For example, for the Oman case, we have also a quite high share of PV capacity. Nevertheless, very low levelized cost for our H2 engine system. So it's quite complicated, and you have to perform an analysis for your specific project case. What I'm showing here is a comparative technology analysis, but the major insight is that the optimum backup system includes both a battery electric system and for seasonal, or let's say long-term storage supply, an H2-based system. And within the calculation tools that we have developed for the study itself, we are able to identify the optimum backup system for the specific requirements of each green ammonia project. So what I want to say within the last seconds that I have, I invite you to read the paper. Those of you who are experienced project developers, please read it critically, challenge the numbers. We invite you to visit us at our stand and have discussions with us on this very exciting topic. Thank you very much. I think I still have 40 seconds. Any questions? Okay, then thank you very much. Thank you for your time.